Welcome back. This is lesson 2 of module 1 of the How to Raise Your Word Count course. And before we jump into the meat of the course, I just wanted to talk about my intentions for this course and what it's really about. So I think in the indie author community, there can sometimes be a sense of competition about word count. And, people tend to throw around their numbers and talk about how much they've written, which when we're starting out can make us feel, I think, can add to the suffering that we're experiencing if we're struggling to get our words down in the first place. So I just want to address the fact that this isn't about a competition. What it's really about is the 4 things that I'm going to talk about in this module or in this lesson. But I also want to address the fact that what really matters is you making the most of your writing time. So one of the ways that you're going to be able to do that is if you create more confidence about your writing. And that's what this course is intending to do. When we're talking about the principles in this course, and when you've learned the things that I'm going to teach, your confidence about your writing is going to rise. And that alone can make a huge difference to how much you're able to write, and also and it will also change actually no matter what kind of writing you're doing. So even if you're writing a memo at work, or if you're working on your fiction, your confidence about what you're doing is really going to change. And I think that's most important, and one of the most important things that you're going to learn here from this course. And then the second thing that's going to happen is that your time is going to become much more efficient. So many of us have a full-time job or a part-time job. We're not necessarily full-time authors. And even if we are full-time authors, we still have to spend some of that time marketing our books and doing the administration and all the other tasks that come along with that. So rare is the person who just gets to sit at their desk and write for 8 hours a day. In fact, I have yet to meet that writer. So no matter how much time you have in a day, even if you've only got 15 minutes, what this course is going to do is it's going to enable you to make the most of those 15 minutes so that you can be, what's the right word for this? Accumulating words toward finishing your book, as I say, even if you only have 15 or 20 minutes a day. So that's something that's really important in our very busy lives these days. And then the third thing that's going to happen is that as you become more confident, as you're more efficient with your time, you're going to be able to write more books. And if you're involved at all with the self-publishing formula community, and maybe you've taken the Ads for Authors course, or you've been to some of the webinars that SPF has put on, you'll know the importance of read through. So it's really, really hard to make a living from just 1 or 2 books. And so the more books that you can write, the more books you can market, and that will increase your author brand. And you'll also, if you've taken the ads course, you'll know the importance of read through. So when you have books in a series, the way that Mark Dawson does, and you spend advertising dollars on the books that are at the beginning of that series, you're going to reap the rewards for that money spent because readers are going to go through and continue to read in that series of books. But the only way to write quite a number of books is to be more confident about your writing, to be efficient with your time, and that's what we're going to talk about in this course. And then finally, I really want to instill in you that your writing can be joyful. Circling back to the point I made at the beginning about the sometimes competitive feel in the indie author community about how many words we're writing, sometimes I feel like that is not focusing on the right thing. It's taking the joy out of our writing. And I personally don't want to look at my writing as though it's an obligation. I don't want to have to slog through it. I don't want to feel like, oh, I have to sit down and write my 1,000 words today or whatever it is. I really want to feel joy when I'm doing my writing. This is a creative pursuit, and it should be joyful. It shouldn't be an obligation. And so if you're feeling a little fearful about writing, if you're suffering about it at all, that's something that I want to fix in the course of this course. So this is the end of Module 1, and in the rest of the modules, we're going to talk about the principles related to writing. We're going to talk about the way, or the fact that there are really only ever 2 issues when someone isn't getting their writing done. And we're going to talk, of course, about how to solve those 2 problems and bring more joy and confidence to your writing. So let's jump in now to Module 2, and I'll see you in there. Bye.